back until late in the year. And so,
Parsons on the move, and Micah Parsons is in.
Hey, tell me you didn't grow up in the projects without telling me.
I grew up with adjacent.
Third and long, it's Von Miller putting his stamp on this one.
Good for you. I hope it fucks your life up. I hope you fail. I hope you fall flat on your face. I'm like, these are my friends. This is us.
Good ball comes out of his hand toward the end zone. Picks up.
Definitely have the Baltimore Ravens.
Nobody feels bad for Deshaun Watson coming back and having terrible performance.
J.K. Dobbins' hand.
Run the damn ball.
The middle. Oh, what a catch by Kittle.
Yeah, so that's. I think the Chiefs are going to totally
And
dominate.
the Kansas City Chiefs have won Super Bowl
This is
57.
Pro Football Talk. That's Pro Football done.
Unprofessional.
That's fun.
You were choppy as hell, my guy.
Choppy? Choppy
Yeah.
right now?
You sound. Your audio sounded choppy, my guy. That's all.
Sound good now?
Speak again.
Hey man, I'm speaking now.
I can barely hear you. Where'd you go?
I can fix that. It's volume.
Cool.
Is that better?
Yeah, sure. Do your thing. We'll find out.
Right? I mean, on my side, I sound great, so I wonder if it's just maybe internet on your side or something.
Could be.
And I mean,
Hold on, let's do this.
everything I'm looking at says I got good signal, good feed. I'm hard lined in, so I think I'm
I
good.
hear you better when I put both in, so we'll do that.
Oh, so you have one headphone out? That's on you.
Yeah. Well, no,
that's-
sometimes you got to
I mean,
react
over
to your
here.
surroundings, my guy.
Probably got me over here over modulating this fast.
That's on you.
You definitely did this, sir. All right, so let's do this though. It is, of course, fun
Football.
talk. It's so unprofessional. We don't even do our intro right. That's how unprofessional we really are.
Yeah, you was elite as shit, my guy.
So I'm gonna come into some sad news. Holmes and Dak struggle as the playoffs loom. Are they cooling off at the wrong time, or was Patrick ever even really getting hot?
The Chiefs have nobody to catch the goddamn ball for them besides
You eating breakfast on the show?
the
You had
Mahomie or
a whole hour.
Sorry,
You had a
what?
whole extra hour to eat.
I wasn't eating, sir. I was trying to fucking choke. I apologize.
It's like you're chewing on something. I'm just gonna call you out on that.
You can try to call me on it, but I'm not chewing, sir.
Chewing on these nuts. You walked into that one. That's
Wish
on
I
you.
was chewing on them nuts.
Ew.
You wish.
You're supposed to co-sign it. You're supposed to be grossed out by it, not throw it back in my face. Ew.
I
So,
mean, that's how you do it.
I mean, honestly, that
What?
is actually how you do it. I mean, straight rubber band and glue. Straight rubber band style. Point right back at you, buddy.
Bling bling.
All jokes aside, let's
Anyway,
get to the
sad
It's time for
news.
the hurry up headline. It's time for the hurry up headlines with Trey. That's right. Lamar outplays Brock and Christian. More on that later in the show, as that's my actual story for today. And then, of
you
course,
have two stories.
yeah, I have a story. You have a story. You have I have a good story. You have a bad. Well, it depends on who you ask on mine. You have a bad story, and I think that everyone I've asked has said that.
Yeah, it's a bad story, bro. It's just, man.
Dallas falls to Miami.
Anyway. Yes.
Could Miami and the
How about the
Ravens
Cowboys?
be the AFC Championship game? We'll get a preview this week. Yeah, they play each other. That definitely has to be one of our games of the week this week for sure.
Yes.
By the way, we went back to picking the games of the week live, meaning we don't even know what games we're picking until the show. Even I don't know. Although, I mean, we both know it was going to be the Ravens and the Dolphins. We knew that.
Yeah. Has to, because, AFC.
Baker.
Place kind of in that thing. What?
All right.
Hey, now.
I thought you paused. That's my bad. Baker.
What did you say?
Picking up wins.
Oh,
Again.
Baker, yes. Baker,
Picking
yes.
up the AFC South title run here. Or NFC South title run here. Now, you guys haven't clinched yet, but I think you can clinch. Is it this week or next week?
Tomorrow. Yes.
Okay, I thought
this
so.
week.
And you guys play who? The Saints, I think?
Yes, we are playing the Aints.
Oh, you guys are playing. Trap game.
For who?
You're not. Hey, you're the one that's in playoff contention. You're not the Saints, brother. You knew who the trap game was for. Come on now.
Well, technically, this is for first place also, and for the.
It's a trap game for the Buccaneers, I think, because the Saints have owned you guys for years now. Even when Tom Brady won the Super Bowl, who did you lose to twice in the regular season that year? The Saints.
It doesn't matter. Who did we have to go through to get to the Super Bowl that year?
You did beat the Saints in the third matchup.
Yeah, thank you. That's all that fucking matters. We had to beat the Saints to get to the Super Bowl.
I would point out something that also matters, which is you still lose to the Saints in the regular season, and this is a regular season game that could decide whether you go to the playoffs or not. This is absolutely a trap game for the Buccaneers. We'll talk about it later if we add it to our list. I'll tell you that. We haven't even decided because why? We don't decide we don't decide the five. We don't decide
who's playing.
I don't even know who's playing. Honest. Okay, yes, I do. I know y'all play the Saints.
I know who's playing.
Y'all play the Saints. I know the Ravens play the Pack. There's some games that matter this week that I definitely know who's playing.
Ooh.
I mean, just being real here.
Of
course.
There are some definite matterful games.
The 49ers still favored to win the NFC, you think, still after this last week?
Yeah. Well, hold on.
Favored still, though? Because they were
the favorites, but
into this week.
I'm looking at who the
not even
have to play.
Not even just Vegas. We can both admit wholeheartedly, not even just talking Vegas here. We can both admit wholeheartedly that besides the Vegas odds makers, right? We all believed that the 49ers were the front runner to win the Super Bowl going into that game against the 49ers. Again, we'll have more on that here at the recap coming up next. But I just want to
against the 49ers that the 49ers went into against the 49ers.
I mean the Ravens. Sorry.
You're good. You're good. I just wanted to clarify that I heard you properly.
You did, and I just want to clarify that America, you know what the fuck I meant. Don't even be a dick about it. I mean, no, go ahead.
No,
be a
they
dick
didn't. No, they didn't. They had no.
It is unlawful of me to assume that they knew what I meant. That's fair. I mean, I feel that.
What you mean?
Sometimes. I mean, okay. You know who does know what I mean? My 3-year-old grandson. When I say stuff to him, he's like, "I'm gonna pop up." Yep. I'm like, "Yep, I know. This world is a jacked up place." All right, no, seriously.
Y'all speak the same language,
right? So
love and confusion. So
I did want to ask before we get into the game recap, how'd your week go, man? You had that real tough week with the holidays vis-a-vis what you do for a normal living.
We're gonna talk about that. It was interesting.
Did you at least enjoy your day off?
I mean, I slept, I ate, and I didn't have to deal with in-laws. I think it was a good day.
Nice.
How about you? How was your holiday weekend there, Mr. Exhale?
Waiting to exhale? No, seriously. I will say it this way. I will say anytime.
All right, Whitney.
I will say anytime I can get my kids as grandparents, my grandkids as great grandparents, us the grandparents. This is on our side, and then all of the kids. Even the adopted kid we picked up like 2 years ago, who's now an adult, getting everybody together. And then we even adopted a friend from work and had them over for food.
Oh,
even with all these people over for food, I still had a fridge of leftovers. I had to start freezing like potatoes and sweet potatoes. And I had to start freezing like some Spanish rice, and I had to freeze up ham. That ham, though, that's going to make a killer white bean and ham soup later, let me tell you.
Yeah, those sweet potatoes right there are very good for you and helps your body.
That's why I did
the cannabinoid system.
They are loaded down with marshmallows and butter, so there's that.
Even better for your
even better. What are you talking about, guy? Even better. I have a freezer.
Marshmallows? What? There better be some brown sugar in that bitch too.
I'm really good at store packing. food in my freezer. So, and what I mean by that is like,
Overpacking.
keeping cardboard between stuff so it doesn't freeze or burn and things like that. So I can usually keep food in my freezer for about a good additional 2 to 3 months after it's been cooked and refroze. Then after that, it gets a little sketch on whether it's going to taste good or not. Now, I think
You
the
never
mashed
know until
potatoes,
you try it, Trey.
honestly, I think mashed potatoes and the sweet potatoes, though, those could probably freeze forever. They are boil in bag, reheat, ready. So those might last a good year in the freezer.
They could.
They're, like I said, they're boiled to bag ready. I mean, honestly, dude, what more do you need? So I told Mama, I said, I'll just cook I'll just cook 2 side or cook this is what we do. I cook a protein with a side and then use a boil bag with some Spanish rice or some mashed taters or some sweet taters, and that's how it gets used up. Sorry. Trey is from the city, but was raised by some country ass folk.
Most people don't know. Like, what is a tater?
A tater is a mashed tater, tater tot, tater
I'm
salad.
saying some people are like, "What's a tater?" Meet my son.
Sometimes we call their nuts taters. Sometimes girls with little boobies, we call them taters sometimes. Probably didn't need to tell you all that, but that's what it is. Sometimes we call the girls taters. Those little taters. He said, damn, Trey just spit some Arizona country knowledge. Well, there's different words for
If
stuff
I'm
like
ever in Arizona, at least I know what they're kind of saying from 1999.
somebody will call them taters or tatas. Yeah, taters or tatas. You never heard that? Okay. All right, I'm moving on.
Tatas, yeah. So that's when you're Spanish, yeah. So when you're tata, you
That is called chichis. Which, weirdly enough, my grandson can't say cookies. So if you ask him if he wants a cookie, he'll be like, "Oh, chichis, yes."
Me too, grandson. Me too.
Right? Hey, no, seriously though, because you don't know. But he was like, I like chichis, and I looked over at him and I was like, me too, dude. Me too. And we just laughed so fucking hard, dude. Me and Grandma.
That is an obsession that you will never be
right. It's like, oh, bro,
guy.
you're talking cookies or real chichis later, bro. That's never going away. So, cheers to you.
Either of those two are going to be there, my guy. They're always going to be there for you and me to enjoy, and the rest of the world.
I heard you say you had family in town. How'd that go? No, it didn't go like it didn't go like like the Lampoons at all, did it?
No. Nobody was hadn't seen shit or none of that shit. They actually were supposed to be here today earlier, but now they're like, yeah, we can't be there till like this time, and this person won't be here because they're sick. And okay,
I've been there. We were supposed to get the grandkids like I think 2 weeks before Christmas week, or even the weekend before Christmas week.
Right.
No, we did get them the weekend before. It was the weekend before the weekend that was. I was like, no,
the weekend
cannot
before
get
the
grenaded.
weekend.
I was like, we cannot get grenaded literally 14 days with a 5-day incubation period of most, viral diseases. I was like, we cannot get grenaded today because we will literally be in the thick of it going into Christmas weekend. Nah, fuck that.
Just being coming out of Christmas weekend, right?
Right. Now, my friend. Yeah, I didn't want to spend Christmas weekend sick. That's dumb. That's nope. Hard pass, bro. Now, let's get back to our yob. So, I do want to go first to the recap of the games last week because I think that's prudent. In order to, like I was saying, we really can't talk about shit until we talk about these games. In a sense, we could do the Russell Wilson thing, but I think that's going to honestly, bro. I have huge
group discussion, bro.
I got a huge I got some talking points. I got a huge breakdown for you, dude. Like, I've got some pretty, shall we say, stiff opinions of what happened or what went down, if you would. But let's recap these games first. So let's go to that Bengals Steelers game, bro. George Pickens went the fuck off. Like, after he put up 31 points, Chris was like, I don't think I'm going to beat you in fantasy this week. And I was like, bro, I don't either. I'm actually just concerned that I may have peaked 1 week too early because I'm going to go to this championship now. I could have played anybody last week in the league. across the board, and they would not have beat me. It was just a good week for me. I made good choices. Who I decided to stay with and not go with. The only thing I could have done better was play Fields over Mahomes last week. 2 weeks in a row, it's proven to be Fields over Mahomes. Now going to the championship, I have a tough decision to make tomorrow morning. You feel me? But anyway, we'll get
who plays who, and then that way you kind of tell. That's the real question.
We'll get into fantasy football talk here in a minute. I've got a few ideas for our listeners on some sleepers that even I already have, so now I can talk about it, and some sleepers that I didn't pick up, and I just got passed up on and couldn't get. There's going to be some sleepers in the league that I'm going to be telling you guys about that are definitely, even if you're playing for like 5th, 6th, or you're playing for 7th, 8th. You're playing, I think, for 7th, 8th, aren't you? You kind of took the dog shit end of it because I knocked you out in the first round. So the best you could have played for was 6th anyway. But anyway, so you're playing for 7th, 8th. Hey, 7th, 8th is better than nothing, right?
Better than 12th or 13th.
Yeah. And it doesn't matter because once we realign the league into 3 new divisions, I think we're going to pull the league back to 12 and get rid of some bad attitudes and some people who don't run their team. And we're going to bring in some new meat, fresh meat that these people have been hitting me up since they missed the sign-up window for the one team we opened. They were like, wait a minute, I missed the sign-up window for one team? I was like, bro, it's actually – look, you can talk all the shit you want about our league all you want. The truth is, people argue about getting into our league. So I always say, hey, if you don't like it or you don't manage your team, I'll get rid of you quick. If you're, like I said, if you're a bad actor and or you don't manage your team, I'll get rid of you quick because there's people who want to do it, who want to have fun, a little jaw jabbing, a little elbow rubbing, it's fun. It's fantasy football. I mean, I told Cammie, I said, if you get this far to the championship, I said, I've only done it one other time, right? And I've been in second place battles and finished third quite a few times. I think I have 2 or 3 third place finishes. I finished third or above. I think 4 of the 6 years this league's existed. I finished in third or above. It's not bad. It's not a bad run. Not a bad run at all. But I digress. That championships are what matter, right? But I think let's just do the fantasy talk now. Fuck these games. That way I can get these sleepers out the way because we're already kind of talking about it anyway. And
I can't keep the secret anymore.
Right? And it is fun to be in the championship because it does make it a little more fun to talk about. Last year, the championship was, and I apologize for having to say it this way because it did involve a man dying on a football field. But for our fantasy league, other leagues' championships weren't impacted the same, although if you were in your championship last year and you didn't have Bills or Bengals players, I'd be shocked. Because at least one on each side in our league.
Yeah.
Between the 2 teams, I believe they had 5 players.
Yeah.
And Santos had the most. Santos had the most, which is why he took the short end of the stick on that game. And it declared Chris a winner, which I'm pretty sure Chris didn't run his team this year. I think he was salty we wouldn't send him a trophy. I'm going to be honest. I don't know. I don't know him personally, so there's no way for me to know, and I'm not going to go rub salt in a wound and go ask, right? He doesn't listen to our show, so it's kind of thing. But for me to bring it up, I don't know, but I feel like if he really was a good manager and he didn't even make the playoffs this year, you weren't managing your team. You set it to – it looked like he set it to automatically optimize his team. He wasn't really managing it. But what I'm going to tell you a secret. What all the fantasy owners don't know that I know and you know, I think we can let the cat out of the bag, and if they listen to our show, then they'll know, right?
I mean, if you want
I can see the last date login as the league commissioner. I can see the last date every one of you logged in. So I can see that while you may have set your lineup to auto setup, you haven't logged in since the first week of the season. I can see that.
Team and adjusted.
I can see that.
Set players. Yeah.
I can see that you have 2 people on injured reserved or done for the season on your bench and in your roster, and they're not your keeper. I can see all that. So when people go, how do you know they didn't manage your team? I'm like, I'm God. No, I'm just kidding. I'm like, no, there's data, bro. There's actual factual data that shows me that you're not managing your team. And we'll get rid of you for that. Like my son is terrible at fantasy football, but I at least know he logs in and tries.
Okay, if that's what you want to consider, he does is try.
Bro, he goes in there, and I think he listens to only what the numbers say on the side there that tell you what their prospective score could be or should be. I think he just
you
listens
can't
to
do
that.
that.
You got to listen to multiple things and then still go with your gut, because if you listen to the experts, you're going to do what I did. Most of the experts said sit Ford in the game in Cleveland's game against the Jets defense, right? But play all your other Cleveland players, but sit your running backs, right? Especially Ford. Bro went off for 24 points, and I listened to the experts and put him on the bench, bro. I'm so pissed off. I literally messaged Santos immediately after the game the next morning and said, all I'm going to say is if I lose, it's because I listened to the experts. And I put experts in quotes, by the way, to emphasize the point that I'm stupid. Just so we're clear, it was only to emphasize the point that I'm a fucking idiot. So we put
Always trust your gut.
Always trust your experts, right? No,
Always
you trust your gut. Like, if you have the players I have, you should trust me. But I wasn't listening to someone who had Ford. I was listening to someone who was making an analytical decision based on what they thought might happen, but not having to actually play him or not play him should have been a factor in my decision, and it wasn't.
Yeah.
I was, honestly, I'm gonna tell you the truth. If I wasn't playing him and I was playing Dagger, if I wasn't playing him and I was playing someone else, right, who made it through the brackets, anyone else,
Right.
I would have started Ford. But I'm playing fucking Santos. And that man fucking strikes fear into my heart as an owner, because he's the only guy. I have whooped a dog piss out of the best this league has had to offer, my dude. Straight up. Every one of you
Can't
little
get him, huh?
Every one of you little fucking weasels thinks you're good, and I've whooped the dog piss out of every one of you motherfuckers. Fuck every one of you. You ain't shit. But that nigga, I cannot get him. I beat him one time, I think, in like maybe two times in 6 years. And back when the league was set up as one standing league, no divisions, I used to play him twice a year every year because we were good. And if you were good, you got stacked up the next year against somebody who was good that you know. So anyway, I beat him like 2 times in 6 years, dog. He beat my ass this year, dog. Dagger whooped my ass twice. Dagger whooped my ass twice. What did I say about him? I didn't give him no kudos. I said he was a fucking thorn in my side. Santos strikes fear into my ass. I'll be over here second guessing myself, listening to so-called experts over this man. This motherfucker owns me. When every time we have to play in the playoffs or the championship, this dude owns me. And it drives me nuts. And I can't wait. Listen, here's the truth. I can't wait to see, you know me, that I'm not a shit talker in the way of I'm gonna beat your ass. I just don't do that. I'm like, I should win this week. Or in your case, I told you I should not win this week. And I just got lucky and I did.
As I said, 2 people I should not have fucking sat.
Chris did the same thing. He sat Matthew Stafford and Nakua against me. And because of that, I was like, well, I got lucky and beat your ass because you slipped up, dog. You should have got me.
Yeah.
You should have not. You should have got me. And then wouldn't that have been something? 7th seed going up against Santos with Nakua and Stafford in his lineup. Not to mention he still had a good quarterback too on top of that. God damn it. Right. I think he had Dak, actually, yeah. He had Dak, and Dak be putting up some fucking – no, bro, you can laugh, but Dak be putting up points on the road, but he'd be putting up points at home. So anyway, but he had him on the road, and that's where I think I knew I kind of might have had a little tiny of an advantage when he fucked up with Nakua, right, is that he left Dak in there, and I was like, well, he's on the road. I don't think he paid attention that Stafford would have been the better start this week. Anyway, so –
you just got to look.
I'm excited for this week because it really is – 2 of the oldest franchises in the league, but not just the oldest, but we've been the 2 winningest. So I'm excited to either finally have 2 trophies like the one that I pulled out to hold in front of you, but you're not here. That's on me though. I had some shit come up with my vehicle, so it is what it is. So anyway, I can't rub it in your face literally, but I'll just rub it in your ear. I don't even know if that's a thing, but I'm making it a thing.
At least you can win something.
Right? So I will give you some. If you can still snag KJ Osborne, if you haven't already, that's somebody that I personally picked up because I saw the value there. Even if I don't start him, I pulled him out. See, I'll tell you a secret. You still hit the waiver wire, even if you think you might lose, just to pull players out of other people's pockets and just stow them on your bench so they can't have them, right? So that's what I did with Marcus Robinson. I can't risk him going off and being on Santos's bench, so I snagged him off the waiver wire. If you can snag Rice off the waiver wire, wire. I would if he's still there. In a lot of smaller leagues, like 12-team and 10-team leagues, he is still out there, okay? He is the only guy catching balls for Patrick Mahomes. Fun fact. Guys, I'd stay away from, even in deeper leagues, Jacoby Brissett. Don't be stupid. Stay away from that, man. And that's in 14 or 16 team leagues where you have to go too deep. I might not balk at Jarrett Stidham if you had Wilson on your and he got benched and you don't have a better option in some of those 14 to 16 deeper leagues, right? I would definitely look at the backup quarterback going to be starting in place of Denver. You could also look at the Chargers backup if you haven't already seen him picked up in your league. Also, Hall is another good quarterback if you're really just struggling and you need some depth, a guy that might get you 15 to 18 points, but he's going to throw in a couple interceptions. There's one for you. Can you tell I did my homework? I just want to ask you that. I just want to ask. I don't fuck around, and you know that. But sometimes we fuck around so much that I don't think people think I do I don't think people realize we do our homework. If you had Flacco and you left him on the bench, you're a moron. That was a game against the Jets, 22 points. He was projected to have 13, just so y'all know. So when you talk about the gap of projection versus performance, right? You talk about the gap of projection for performance, bro. Dude is 7.5 points above his projected performance, dog. That is balling out.
That's why you can't trust analytics sometimes, because
numbers
are good and everything, but you can't. There's things they can't get right.
You know who you can't trust also? Experts, because they'll tell you to keep Ford on the bench, and they'll put up 24 points. And by the way, we're not in a points per carry, points per pass league. And I'm actually going to, in the league meeting this year that we're going to have probably in here on Podbean, because there's enough room we can bring people in. In the league meetings, I will be advocating, just so you know, against points per rush and points per carry. And I'll tell you why. Because every time you carry the ball, you get yards, and that's how you point. Every time you get a catch, you get yards. That's how you point. So giving someone a point when they are tackled behind the line of scrimmage disgusts the fuck out of me. And I plan to advocate very fiercely. I don't
think you get points like that, though. I think it's all points only on productive yards.
No, points per play. Here's another version. There's points per play. The PPP leagues. If that you're getting a point, which it's 1/10 of a point, technically speaking here, you're getting 1/10 of a point from your player just for being on the field. So if this guy's on the field for fucking 20 plays, you're going to get 2 extra points just for him being on the field. But let's say that he doesn't have any receptions that game or any yards. Do you see why that feels stupid to me now?
Oh, yeah.
So I will be advocating. We are going to change to the owners. We are going to change to an owner vote every spring. You and I hold veto power. But so basically, if the owners decide something stupid, we'll just veto it. But we need to. I want to incorporate the owners. I feel like we don't have enough in between the league time with people, and because of that, I want to bring that incorporate into our league. And I encourage people out there. That's why I'm bringing it up. If you guys do a league where you guys don't talk a lot and you guys don't interact a lot, it's kind of boring. And I feel like sometimes during the season it's boring because nobody wants to talk shit until finally everybody just wants to hate me. Which, by the way, all of you in our league, please keep hating on me. I'm almost mad that you didn't hate on me, Preston, because keep hating on me. I keep winning when you do that. Do not show me love. Preston showed me love, and now I'm worried. I left Ford on the bench because Preston showed me love.
I found the secret. No.
He's like, the secret is be nice to me. That's what it is right there. Dead serious. Like, if you're nice to me, I start to actually make mistakes. I fall into the love.
You're like, what? What is this? I don't know how this works. What the fuck is going on?
Like that. That's how Cammy trapped me. She got me to mess up, get confused, and make mistakes. No, I'm just playing. She showed me the love. All right, so let's do this. Let's go ahead, and since we did the fantasy football thing, let's break down these games. Then let's get to break. We're going to come back. We'll talk about Lamar Jackson. We're going to talk about Russell Wilson getting benched, and then we're going to pick this week's games. And I also have a trivia question for you.
Okay, what's my hint? It doesn't fucking matter. They don't even fucking match. They work any goddamn way.
From now on, I'm going to give you a hint. Well, no, because now you're going to put me on the spot to give you a hint from now on. Or maybe, I don't know. But because I don't like to type up the program, and it just takes a bunch of extra time. Like, we know how to fucking do this, do we not? And during the off season, we're
I
just
like
gonna
to
be
type up the
hustling.
programming, says the ADHD guy.
Well, no, it just takes time, and I just don't always have time for it. But going into the off season, we're going to be covering other sports where probably going to have to do a little more research. And so I'd like to, enjoy the football season. I do hand. Okay, so here's the truth. I handwrite my notes, which is why I get tired of retyping up the actual stuff.
Why don't you just type?
Now you know. Because I handwrite them throughout. I write stuff on sticky notes as I'm working, researching, listening to shows throughout the day. So I don't always have time to run over to the computer and actually type it up. So that's why I have like sticky notes in every room. And when I have a thought or I think about something or I hear a stat that's like a really good stat, I'm like, oh, let me go write that down real quick. I need to use it on my show. Or I find a stat online, I write it down real quick. Okay. So don't judge me.
I don't judge. No, that's actually pretty good for somebody with ADHD.
Your hint
to do that.
Thank you. A lot of people call this a disability or a disorder. I call it a superpower because once you figure out how to harness it, bitch, you're like a superhero. You do the work of 10 men in a day and people get mad at you for it because they hate it. And I laugh at it because I'm going, use me, stop hating. God damn. Anyway.
Oh no, because you don't get paid for fucking doing the work of 10 men.
I don't. Speaking of what, do not miss out on the live national show we're doing, or international show rather, we're doing on Monday the 1st at noon Mountain, 2 p.m. Eastern. It is going the fuck down. We are going to be making the hugest, dude, we're talking the biggest announcement that we've made, I would say bar none, in at least 2, if not 5 years. It's going to be the biggest announcement we've made. Thank you for that air horn sound effect. I think I have. Maybe I don't have the air horn here. That's on my turntables. You know what we got?
Uh-oh.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's at.
That's where it's at, right there. So we all love the little uh-oh thing because that means it's about to go down. Anyway, so we've got a lot going down here at the station. I think that this announcement and this edition is going to be something that's going to blow people's minds, and I encourage you to be here noon. We're also going to try to set up a live New Year's Eve live live cast. It's going to be live. It'll be live like this, but it'll be playing all the old shows. So people will just check in and see this live thing running and just check in throughout the whole day. You know what I'm saying? So we're trying to get that started at midnight tonight through until midnight, until the bell rings for the new year, next year. So we're trying to, it'll obviously we'll be busy here at the studio, partying in studio. So we'll have to, and I'll be cutting in and just dropping the volume on it and coming in and just saying hi, and it's going to be fun. But I'm also going to be partying, and I'm going to be
people's heads.
Yeah, so it's going to be kind of an all day thing. There'll be NFL games on during that day, so I may just pop in, just drop the fader on the audio there, and put up the fader on my mic and be like, "Hey, just checking in. Oh my God, the game!" This live telecast or live broadcast, live pod broadcast. I'm just calling it a rodcast because it's freaking awesome. All right, so anyway, this live broadcast is going to be absolutely fun. It will never ever be available again. Podcast P. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like once we end it, we're not going to re-air it because it's so long that we don't need 24 hours of airtime going away to one show. If you get what I'm saying, because that kills the numbers. By the way, dude, 40,000 listeners or 40,000 downloads and listens this year. Just wanted to just say, man, we're, I'll probably screenshot and post some numbers online, like into the first, second, third of the year, like last year's, blah, blah, blah. Or no, 47,000 is lifetime. But I would just like to point out to everybody that about 15,000 of those downloads and listens were just this year. And you got to understand that this isn't a 3-minute song. People are listening to, and we have like literally an 87% retention, which means people are listening. 87% of the people that listen to us are listening to the entire show they do pick to listen to. That's insane. That's insane for nobodies. We're nobodies, dude. Like, that's awesome. Like, that's shit for Joe Rogan, right? But that's insane for a couple of nobody guys in Colorado doing a football podcast, and a guy in a gallon, in Canada, and a couple guys out in Michigan, part of the station. That's not too bad. And honestly, while we
Not too shabby.
while we were killing the numbers without them, the added content and listenership has been awesome as well, because it's beefed up the numbers by at least 20%, 15, 20%. So which tells you that while our shows were already holding their own, the addition of those other shows has been nothing but helpful. Nothing but helpful. And I expect those numbers to grow, because they weren't even there until, I think, March or whatever. You know what I mean?
Midway.
So something like that, like March, February, March.
There.
They may not have been. Actually, you're right. I think they started dropping shows around 420, so they weren't even there for the whole year. And to beef up like 15, 20%, not be the whole year, like, I'm a numbers guy. That's numbers that speak volumes to me. Anyway, so I just wanted to point that out real quick, give them a shout out. Let's get back to these games. Let's go to the Bengals. The Bengals fall 34-11. They just didn't show up against the Steelers. What do you got to say about that one?
That hurt. That hurt my soul. I think that also had a lot to do with players showing up and proving, you know what I'm saying, that they ain't little boys, and if they win, they can talk all that shit they want.
This game caused me
about not blocking.
If I had gotten this one right, I would have got the sweep chain last week.
But you didn't.
I didn't. Lions.
No, you didn't.
Lions. No, I didn't. The Lions, of course, went there to a little place called Minnesota and snuck away with a road win in a division game. Probably ended Minnesota's hopes of any playoff chances, just so y'all know.
They clinched the division title? No.
If they didn't, they will this week. No, I know the Ravens. No, because nobody's clinched their division in the AFC. Oh, wait, that's the AFC though.
This is NFC. That's where, I'm looking. Hold on.
I feel bad, dude. I'm not even 100% sure on that one. You look that up for us real quick. I'll go to the next game. Buccaneers, of course, take down the Jaguars at home. They're sitting at 8-7 atop their division, about to go into another division game with the Saints that we talked about a little bit earlier, but they win this one 30-12. Jacksonville just, down and out.
Dude, those 12 points were garbage points, straight up.
Yeah. Honestly, y'all was whooping the dog piss out of them to begin with anyway.
Yeah, dude. Last time I looked, it was 30-0, and I was like, that's game.
No such thing as junk points in my book, but there's definitely such thing as sometimes points that aren't going to really win the game points, per se. Can we call it that? Like 12 points in the fourth quarter kind of thing. Like, that's not going to win the game for you. Honestly, Dallas won a heartbreaker to the Fins. We both took the Fins, but the Fins barely snuck out of there with a
heartbreaker. You mean lost a heartbreaker?
Lost. I'm sorry, but anyway, the Fins get out of there with a 22-20 victory over Dallas. But I'm telling you, like, this game was really close. This was a good game.
Oh shit! I don't think they did. Huh. When I look at that, I was talking to a Dallas Cowboys fan, and he was like giving me the score the entire time, and he's like, "Man, this is just what we do. This is just what we do." And I'm like,
well, and then also, like, there's like a time, like a really pivotal time when Micah Parsons went out and they just ran the ball down y'all throat with Raheem Morse, and so it's just it's like, Coach Mike McDaniel knows, he knew right when and where to attack with what weapon due to who was not standing on that field in that moment. And it was a pivotal moment because he kept a drive going that ultimately ended up in points when I was like, yo, you guys got to stop these guys here.
Why is there not? I guess it's not that. Oh, wait, there we go.
And then, of course, the 49ers got smoked by the Ravens.
That was just
and
what's the
don't
word for that one? That one was nasty.
Don't be fooled. It was really like a 12-point game most of the game. 12 points for San Francisco most of the game. They got a late touchdown that made it 19, but it really was a 12-point game most of that game, or a 7 or 11, 12-point game. But whatever. You get my point. Is the Ravens came out and stacked. Well, first off, they came out and they stacked 16 points on them in the first half. But more importantly, they put up 17 points in the third quarter while shutting San Francisco out in the third quarter. And that kind of right there, that third quarter is really what told the story of the game. It was a close game in the first quarter. Then the Ravens, they get that little edge and get out ahead of them. At like I said, if I remember right, it was like, was it 16 or 12-16 at the half, I think, or something like that. And then, like I said, you get that big 17-point burst in the third quarter. And that's why I wrote that note down, was that 17-point burst in the third quarter, because that's where the Ravens really, really took hold of this game. They came out after the first half. They shut San Francisco down. They don't let them put up any points. And then they just go on a tear. And that's kind of how you win games in this league. And that's a good way. Well, I think what most of us left that game with was like, wait, what just happened?
Right?
Because we just expected a better game.
Yes.
Now,
it's like watching a Super Bowl and it's like 39-3 or something. You're just like, what?
Exactly.
Like I said, right. How do you make it to Super Bowl with that shit? Oh, also, the Lions have not clinched, but they can clinch. Also, the Eagles can clinch with the Cowboys' loss.
Nice. We'll be back after the break.
Who are the Cowboys playing? The Lions.
Just kidding. I'm just kidding. Aren't they at home, though? Ooh.
It's time for Blunt Football Talk.
In trouble, gets away. Mahomes racing with the bad ankle and all. Inside the 20.
My concern is that Kyler doesn't come back until late in the year. And so,
Parsons on the move, and Micah Parsons is on.
Hey, tell me you didn't grow up in the projects without telling me.
I grew up with adjacent.
Third and long, it's Von Miller putting his stamp on this one.
Good for you. I hope it fucks your life up. I hope you fail. I hope you fall flat on your face. I'm like, these are my friends. This is us.
Good ball comes out of his hand toward the end zone.
I definitely have the Baltimore Ravens.
Nobody feels bad for Deshaun Watson coming back and having terrible performance.
J.K. Dobbins' hand.
Oh, what a catch by Kittle.
Yeah, so that's. I think the Chiefs are going to totally dominate.
And the Kansas City Chiefs have won Super Bowl 57.
This is Pro Football Talk. That's pro football done.
Unprofessional.
That's fun.
All right, it's time to have that talk. Yeah, I'm talking to you, homeowner. Don't you try to run away, townhome renter and apartment renter. Look, every time we move, they charge us a ridiculous amount of money. Every time you need something remodeled, those people charge you a ridiculous amount of money. So this time, when I moved, I got my whole deposit back. Now, I can't promise you the same results, but what I can tell you is I went through Quality Peak Customs. That's right. That's handyman and remodeling. And at Quality Peak Customs, they're going to take care of you the best they can to help you get the best job you can. So whether it's moving out, needing your apartment brushed up for the handover, your townhome, you want to rent that out, you need it fixed up for the big remodel, hey, that house. When's the last time you've done something? Well, when you do it, why don't you call Quality Peak Customs at 719-964-6871. That's 719-964-6871. You can also email Quality Peak Customs at qualitypeak.customs@gmail.com for your free quote today. You can check out Quality Peak Customs on Facebook as well. Let's go with Quality Peak Customs for your next move, your next remodel, or the next time you need a helping hand around your home.
Are you troubled by pop culture references in the middle of the night?
Do you or a loved one experience feelings of dread finding collectibles in your attic or basement?
Joey, have you ever been in a Turkish prison?
If the answer is yes, then don't wait another minute. Pick up your phone and call the professionals. Control, Alt, Throw Against Wall.
Our courteous and efficient staff is on call 24 hours a day to serve all your mind-numbing needs. We're ready to believe you.
Look, everybody loves creativity, good food, and hard work. That's why it's so easy to love Sam's Creations. Sam's Creation is award-winning cannabis food creations. Find Sam's Creations on Facebook and Instagram with Sam's with a Z, Creations with a Z. Or place your order today at 719-283-1701.
Trey gonna be that old guy in sandals and khakis with a button.
I've been saying this
this for how long?
I can't step outside
We
naked.
jumped into the river.
What did you do? Did you run
I
along
jumped
the river
in.
bank?
I let autocorrect make me look stupid on Facebook every day. With Luxembourg. I can't do it.
It's Luxembourg.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sure. That's what they all say.
Ah!
Look at you, girl.
Sexual tracking app on it, and it found that.
Yeah, he's actually using that. Welcome home, gentlemen from the 4th Infantry Division, 4th ID.
Yeah, I think he was trying to be funny, but it kind of escalated.
I think he was trying to hit her on a discount. Oh!
Can I talk to you, son?
Sure, Dad.
Hey, what's this? Your mom found this in your closet.
No, that's not mine. One of the guys.
Where did you get it? Where'd you learn to do this stuff?
It's a podcast, all right? Learn from Control, throw against wall.
Control Alt Throw Against Wall. We may teach you stuff, but it won't be good.
It's time for Blunt Football Talk.
In trouble, gets away. Mahomes racing with the bad ankle and all. Inside the 20.
My concern is that Kyler doesn't come back until late in the year. And so,
Parsons on the move. And Micah Parsons is in.
hey, tell me you didn't grow up in the projects without telling me.
I grew up with adjacent. Third and long. It's Von Miller. Putting his stamp on this one.
Good for you. I hope it fucks your life up. I hope you fail. I hope you fall flat on your face. I'm like, these are my friends. This is us.
A good ball comes out of his hand toward the end zone. Picks up.
Definitely have the Baltimore Ravens.
Nobody feels bad for Deshaun Watson coming back and having terrible performance.
J.K. Dobbins' hand. The middle. Oh, what a catch by Kittle.
Yeah, so that's. I think the Chiefs are going to totally
And
dominate.
the Kansas City Chiefs have won Super Bowl 57.
This is Pro Football Talk. That's Pro Football done.
Unprofessional. That's fun.
Game show on Earth.
I'm on it. What up, people? This is Blunt Football Talk. This show is totally unprofessional. We talk about football and we're stoned as we do it. My podcast being with definitely out. You can find me on all my shit underneath that. Also, we have Vista Trip here talking shit. Somebody who knows. Probably the stage manager telling him he's doing something wrong. As usual. It happens. But as we were talking, so as soon as he gets back out here, we'll talk about Russell Wilson and the Denver Broncos. That whole kerfluffle, if you will. We need to discuss that. And
Fine, but why are you ignoring me like I'm not? I'm still confused.
What?
Lost. Why are you ignoring me like I'm not?
Oh, you're talking to me now? Oh, look at that. I thought you were having a whole fucking conversation with somebody else. So I'm just trying to fill the fucking so there's no dead air because once again I can barely hear you.
Uh-oh.
Whoopsie.
All right, it is Blunt
Football
Talk. That is Pro Football.
Hey. Actually, shit.
So, as we like to say, it's so unprofessional. Anyway,
It almost
so
gets professional.
it almost is so.
That's not, yeah, you would think, but
So let's get right to it.
Anywho.
Let's get to it. So a lot to sort of unearth here, if you would. Not to use any of the terms from Oak Island. I'm watching that a lot over the break or the holiday break.
Yeah.
But not to unearth here. We need to unearth a pretty serious breaking story that's kind of come out effective this week. Just yesterday, 2 days ago, and then just yesterday, we found out even more about the situation. You know what I mean? And that really got me thinking, bro. That got me thinking.
Yeah, so the question you asked me first was like, who's in the wrong? I'm like, and then I get this, and I'm like, wait a minute. This is some major conspiracy shit.
No, seriously, I sent you the story. Because first,
I sent you the story.
First, we both sent the story at the same time, which was like awesome. And we both sent it from the same app, which means we literally got it at the same time. Okay, hands down, that might be the greatest thing that's happened in our football chat with each other. It's like there's been funnier stuff that's friend related, but not funnier football related stuff in our personal chat. That was
did
great.
that really happen?
We both sent it at the same time. That's like that never happened. That was great. Usually one of us gets the other, or you'll send me something. I'm like, bro, I'm reading it right now. But we don't send it at the same time. One of us usually gets it and tells the other one we already read it. But that was great.
Yes.
Like, and I looked and I was like,
dicks about it.
I was like, did this bitch just send me the same shit back? I was like, damn, we was on the same wavelength at the same damn time, at the same damn time.
Same damn. The same time from the same news provider on the same app.
Like Yahoo Sports, and I went ESPN or something. No, it was both from the same damn app. That was the best
ESPN app.
I was like, oh, so you get that alert too. So anyway,
yes, I'll get ones from Bleacher Report, but you don't believe those. So
I get Broncos, Chargers, and Cardinals alerts. Those are the three big ones I get because that gives me talking points for my friends here in Colorado. And it gives me talking points for my son, who's a Chargers fan. And then I know, of course, I'm going to know my team like the back hand, right?
Facts.
Soccer's hard. I'm not going to lie to you because I have teams in all the leagues, right? I'm a Real Madrid guy for La Liga in Spain and in Italy.
Football though, and then American soccer.
I'm a Frankfurt guy for Bundesliga. I'm a Chelsea guy for the Premier League. But in that pyramid, I've now become a Wrexham fan because one of my favorite actors. See, a lot of people are like, "Oh, fuck yeah, Deadpool!" And you know what I say when they? Okay, first off, before I tell you what I'm going to say, when I say this name, what is the first thing you think of? Ryan Reynolds.
Waiting.
Okay, I got you beat then still, but that's a damn good one too. Now say it to me and watch what I say back to you.
What do you think of when I say Ryan Reynolds?
Van Wilder.
You take it to front.
National Lampoon's
Van
Wilder.
You got me there. You do got me there. I just thought about another one.
I wish I could have went to college for like 7-8 years and lived in the dorms. He literally had my dream life. And he didn't even have a doctorate yet, which is the best part. And he was the dorm supervisor, remember?
Yes, the movie was based on the Machine, or whatever the fuck his name's life. Anywho,
sucker fish.
Damn, sucker fish.
That sounds like a Detroit Lions fan.
And it's cheaper if you live next to the college.
True, it's cheaper if you live next to it instead of in it.
Yeah, because then you don't have to pay.
Oh, you just go to school for free.
Walk on campus, bro.
You didn't know that? You can walk into classes. It's easy.
I mean, I don't know if we should be
attendance and shit.
Okay, we're like, fuck it, fuck attendance tonight.
Do they take attendance in college?
Yes.
I mean, either you're here or you're not. You pay to be here.
No, it doesn't work like that anymore.
No, they don't care as long as you pay that bill.
No, I'm trying to tell you, it don't work like that no more. If you don't show up to class, so in order for your degree and your credits to be accredited these days, you have mandatory in-class time. Even on the online class, they have mandatory amounts of actual face-to-face time with the teacher. If you miss the face-to-face time with the teacher, and you miss, I think it's more, like, for instance, you have let's say 20 face times with the teacher, and you miss more than 6, you're not graduating. It's going to be almost impossible to graduate that class. You're going to end up having to take it again.
Ain't that kind of gay considering you're paying big bucks for that shit?
First off, Chris, I know you're old.
But no, I totally, I understand. It's like, no, I feel him on that, but we can't say that way. It sucks.
No, you know what?
Because you're paying, you have to be there.
I think you're deplorable if you think that's okay to say that. But I do believe that sometimes we have bad habits because I will tell you, so first off, to the gay community, I just want to say very upfront that I love you. And when I say what I'm about to say and explain what I say to who I say it to, you might actually understand this. But I don't ever say this to a gay person. But I will look somebody dead in their face if they're being a little, if they're being a motherfucker to me, I'll be like, you want a piece of me, you motherfucker? You know what I mean? To try to amp them up and get under their skin, right? So I've always worked to not say that, right? But I have known to, when I've exploded, to misuse a term. So, Chris, I'm not mad at you at all, ever.
I know that, bro.
Because I know that we're all good humans, and I know Chris has got a good heart and a good soul. Sometimes we say things that comes out the wrong way. But no, what I will say is it is really fucking dumb, Chris. Yes. Absolutely fucking ignorant. Yes. I agree with you 100%. Because I know what you mean when you say that. So, now, guys, don't beat Chris up.
No.
He's a sweetheart, and he is absolutely out here, with his fist up for the LBG.
Good ganja.
Smoking some good ganja, so don't get it twisted. Just to slip up. We're all 90s children. People used to always be like, so that's gay. And it's not appropriate. Do what you want, but I find it to be beneath us. I think we've grown up past that, but we do slip up sometimes, Chris, and I still love you. You're a good human.
Oh, yeah, I definitely didn't mean it like that, but because I've got friends that are lesbian and gay, and even my girlfriend's daughter is a lesbian, so
I even do that.
Yeah, I'd have nothing against someone's sexual preference or the way
just bisexual.
There's,
And I'm like, so you just like to have more fun than everyone else. Good for you. Don't let nobody hate on you.
Fact.
So, listen, I was born in this world. I didn't make it. So I'm sorry for anything that sometimes I say. I'll say that up front just to kind of clear the air on that. Because I was born in a world I didn't create. And so bad habits die hard. That's all. And by the way, I want you to join us on January 1st, noon Mountain, 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. on the West Coast. Keezy, because we want to give you enough time to wake up for this one, baby. We're going to be making the biggest announcement we've made in easily 2 to 5 years. We are making an announcement that was begged of me to do and begged of me to make. And there have been people that have been sitting on pins and needles that have wanted to hear this, that have reached out to me. So I'm excited to tell you guys this great news. But first, we have a 24-hour marathon that starts tonight at midnight and runs all the way until New Year's Day at midnight, right? And it is going to be 24 hours of selected episodes of Blunt Football Talk. The now retired Two Birds and One Stoner from its only season. We want to make sure we share some of that with you before we move on. And it's going to have some of the best of Newbie and the Doobie, Control Throw Against the Wall. Everybody's going to have episodes on this 24-hour marathon that I'm going to be setting up. It is going to be so much fun. And I'm going to try to interact with it as much as possible on Sunday. So just, bear with me. It's to make sure that the station stays up and running for 24 hours and still trying to get sleep during that and get drunk is going to be, I think, fun. Challenging, we'll call it.
I challenge you.
Challenging is a very key word.
I swear if this fucking thing shuts off one time, I'm going to be so pissed off. Because I've seen the station run for 24 hours with no problems. It does it all the time. That's why we get listeners.
We've also heard it run for a few hours and drop out, too.
That is true, but it comes back afterwards.
Dude, I've been listening to it like on my own, and I'll like have it playing. I'll have like just our shows playing through like, I don't know, iTunes or Spotify is usually the two I use the most, And a lot of people don't know this, but I use Pandora and I pay for Pandora, but it's to curate the best playlist possible for whatever I'm doing in that moment. And I've been doing this for like literally 20 years on Pandora. But outside of that, I actually prefer Spotify to listen to our show though. You know what I mean? I just don't want our show popping in Spotify music mix.
You paid for your algorithm.
Yeah, I'm paying to create my own algorithm though. Whereas on Spotify, no, on Pandora too. But I don't pay for Spotify, so I don't have all the bells and whistles you do. To be fair to me, But anyway, but I will just tell you that, like, Chris, let me just tell you, everybody proactively, positively complimented the Christmas party playlist I had running that I had put together for like 2 weeks before the party. Everybody said something positive about it. Bro, guys, I did great. Meghan Trainor's my bitch. All I'm saying, if you ever heard Meghan Trainor's Christmas songs or Christmas album, you need to get on that shit. I'm just telling you. If you want some like new stuff, you're tired of kind of the old stuff a little bit. You like the old stuff, you want to hear it once through the night, but you're not trying to hear it every other song because that's all a lot of people do. I'm telling you, you got to get on that Megan Trainor, that Taylor Swift. You got to get on that Ariana Grande. You got to get on that Mariah Carey Christmas album, and then get the best of each and mash them up, bro. Oh my God, I slayed it, bro. I felt like a DJ again, boys.
Oh, yeah, to the MC. Why did you bring up the MC?
I did. I really felt like a DJ, not an MC so much.
No.
I MC'd a lot of concerts, though.
No, not that MC. Not that MC.
Kid Rock, actually.
The other MC, to Mariah Carey. We do not speak of her. She has gone back to her cave where she will stay for another 300 days.
Yep. Kid Rock, Alabama, Joe Diffie. Oh, man. Bands in the backyard is a thing in Colorado, guys. It's fun. Anyway, and now we got that big, huge stadium downtown. So now there's a bunch of concerts going to be there this summer. The only one I know of is the only one I don't want to go to. And I'm going to just tell you that it does involve personal feelings about a specific artist. So I'm just not going to get into it on this show. By the way, the day we make the announcement, I do have some topics to discuss. I think it'll be fun. Not for this show, but I'll just tell you I have 2 topics, Chris.
Dun, dun, dun.
Chris, I have a surprise guest.
Uh-oh.
Actually, I have a few surprise guests, funny enough.
Right on.
Yeah, it's going to be a fucking party. And anyway, it's a good idea to stop by. Chris already said he'll be there. Podcast P, if you want to stop by on your way to whatever place you slave to, stop in. Say hi.
Oh, yeah, I'll definitely be there.
He's like, I'm not into it. I'm here for the sports.
Might be in the grow room, but
whatever you need in your life, Chris. So let's get to it. Break it down. What do you got, Podcast P?
Well, according to Russell Wilson,
the Broncos some bitches. All right, Sean Payton.
God damn, dude, like straight up. But no, I don't know if it's just Sean Payton or who all, but okay. After the win by the bye week of this year, Broncos organization approached Russell Wilson and basically said, adjust your guaranteed contract that we signed for you, or you'll be pitched. And he was like, well, shit. Balled out for, 6 games or so?
They lost one. They went 6-3 during that span, just to clear things up.
Yes. 6-3.
This is
still a goddamn good record.
Listen to me. Everybody, this is right after they beat the Chiefs, or right around the time they beat the Chiefs. Yeah. Broke the curse of broke what we call up here in Colorado the Kansas City curse. I'm not even a Broncos fan, and I know about the Kansas City curse. You know what I mean? Like, I've known about it. 8 years, 16 games, straight losses. Not even when the Broncos were all right, still lost to the Chiefs. They haven't beat the Chiefs.
Always lost the Chiefs.
They hadn't beat the Chiefs since Peyton Manning was the quarterback here, and they won Super Bowl 50. I'm pretty sure that had been the last time they fucking beat the Chiefs was like 2015. Real talking, Pippin.
Yeah.
Real talking. And so,
yeah.
I don't even know if they beat the Chiefs. I think they lost to the Chiefs at the end of the year that year. So it might have even included the game from that year.
Colorado's version of the Lions.
I'm telling you, it was rough on those poor Bronco fans, man. And sometimes you can't feel sorry for them, but at least they're not Raiders fans. No. Sorry, Raiders fans. I mean, at least you're not Philly fans. Sorry, Philly fans. At least you're not 49er fans. I don't have anything to be sorry after that, clearly. If you've been long enough, you know that. Go Birds. Or Cardinals. I'd rather root for the Seahawks in our division. All right, I'm done. All right, so anyway, I
think the Broncos are trying to say that they're trying to get rid of him because $13 million next year balloons.
But what are you going to replace him?
58.
You draft pick franchise okay, so guys, listen. If you've been a fan of the show for a long time, then you know that 2 years ago we said that Rams mortgaged their franchise in order to win a Super Bowl, and they did.
Super Bowl.
Well, we saw that the next year when the Broncos did this with Russell Wilson and they fell flat on their face with Nathaniel Hackett as the coach because, he couldn't hack it. Sorry, I'm never going to get old. That's never going to get old to me. But anyway.
He couldn't hack it in Denver, but apparently he could hack it wherever he plays now.
the Jets offense, are they really productive?
Hey now.
We don't know.
That's only because their star got hurt 4 plays into the.
I don't think you need to even play football to know that 3 plays or 4 plays is not enough to know whether he's going to be good or bad, to be fair. Right? Like, to be fair, good or bad. You can't even, it was hard to even be indifferent. I just felt sadness for Jet.
Oh, that was like, damn, bro, after all this hype, 4th play.
So my answer, my take on Russell Wilson is this. Here's my take.
Okay, what's your take?
As Chris knows me, and you do know me from my normal talk shows, that for me, it's about looking at the timeline of when things happen in any case or any situation, because telling me X, Y, and Z happened, but putting them in a different order can make them seem worse or better than what they really were, right? So when things are done and said, the exact moments when those happen versus what happens later, that lays out motive in a case.
Right.
So when the Broncos first benched Russell, I actually giggled. I'm not going to lie to you. I giggled a little. I was like, ha, stupid Russ.
I mean, I think we all kind of did, but then, like, as more information came out, we were like, oh, shit.
Like, this is why I didn't say anything except all I put on a post about it was benched, because I didn't have any information yet, right? Like, that's good reporting. That's not assuming anything. That's not thinking you know the fucking answer. That's just good reporting. We don't know anything.
Facts.
I just told the facts. I don't know what it is. He's benched. That's all I got. So benched is all I put on the comment. And when I posted about it for our show. But what I will tell you is this. I did giggle at first. Then the news started to trickle down over the next 24 hours about the situation, because I think he got benched on what, Thursday? Yeah, Thursday. And then Friday, the news started coming out about the timeline of what happened when, right? Because, and here's, I'm going to tell you something. Cammy and I even had our station manager and owner. I had a talk with her. She's a Broncos fan, obviously, huge Russell fan, because she used to live up in Seattle, and in the NFC, she would even root for the Seahawks. You know what I mean? As a Broncos fan. So getting Russ here was like a big deal for her. And so we've talked a bunch about him, despite her not being a diehard, huge, crazy fan, but still just a huge Bronco fan, right? Long story short, and a huge Russ fan is a man. Like, guys, before you talk shit about this man, please remember this motherfucker was NFL Man of the Year, and he was
Walter Payton Man of the Year.
Walter Payton NFL Man of the Year, and he also won an MVP one year, guys, if I remember right. So, like, relax a little. If he didn't win that MVP, he was definitely in the talk the year they won the Super Bowl. So chill a little, relax a little, and the year they lost the Super Bowl too, nonetheless. So chill.
Denver at that. So
no, they lost the Super Bowl. They got the dog piss whooped out of them by Seattle in that Super Bowl. Remember the snap that went over his shoulder?
Yeah.
I was all in. Hey, I was all in for the. Hey, let me tell you, I was all in for the Broncos in that Super Bowl too. Damn it. The one that they won was against Carolina, by the way, Super Bowl 50. Remember, Von Miller had the kryptonite shoes that he had got for Superman.
Just for Cam Newton, yeah.
Real good, by the way, that'll go down as one of the best shoe stunts ever, cleat stunts ever in sports. Right there is fucking coming out. Your boy wants to call himself Superman, so you come out with some kryptonite design cleats. Like, all right, you Superman? Well, on defense, I'm fucking Lex Luthor with kryptonite, bitch. What's up? Brilliant. Ron will always be my dude. Listen, remember, we view players for on-the-field work, not their off-the-field body of work, although we will bring that discussion. So when I say Von Miller is the dude, I just mean on the field with his stunting, because in light of his recent domestic stuff, we do not condone abusing partners, no matter sex or any of that stuff. We do not condone partners abusing partners. If Von Miller is innocent of any of these accusations, fine. Otherwise, we don't condone that at all. But we can still like you as a football player. We don't even have to root for you, Deshaun Watson, but we can still like the Browns as football players. You sick fuck. Anyway, so let's do this. Hey, by the way, Mayor Rudy Giuliani. That's how you talk shit about somebody. You just wait for them to get convicted of something, then you clown them. We're going to find out how that works out, actually. Tune into this station next year. It's going down. Chris, have I given up too many eggs? Too many Easter eggs?
They don't know, bro. Shut the fuck up. They don't know.
Okay. I'm just hoping I didn't give up too many Easter eggs there. Tune in. All right, so let's jive to the next situation, boys. We're gonna move on from us.
Real quick though.
Here's my timeline. Kansas City them, and then they're like, "Hey, we need you to cut your salary, or we're gonna bench you." That might have made sense in that
during
moment.
the bye week.
Yeah, during the bye week. That might have made sense in the moment to some people, but then he went on a tear, and he's got them. And here's the thing here's the thing that I can't get my mind around as somebody who has been the GM and the head coach of a team, right? Now, guys, please understand that I don't mean an NFL team. I mean a actual, but I do mean a traveling, competitive National Pop Warner team, yes. And I do mean managing flag football, softball, soccer teams, all kinds of shit, right? Like I've managed teams and coached them throughout my life, just at a lower level, to be fair, right? But I think that any of us know and can understand that there comes management in how you handle rosters and how you put. Sometimes, dude, I have sometimes put the best player off the team or somewhere else because they weren't good for the chemistry, and we did better without them, actually. And so I do understand benching guys. It's not fun. Oh man, do you want to know the heat and the looks I got when I benched a starting quarterback to start my own son, who was the backup quarterback? You want to know some of the looks I got on that one? Like the stench of nepotism coming out of their fucking brains was great. Never mind that we had like a 2-touchdown lead. He had been fucking up on the handoffs, and we were going to run the ball the rest of the way to get the clock ran out. And my son was our best running quarterback. He was just not our best throwing quarterback, and I do need a thrower in there when we need to pass, right? So anyway, so I get this. And guys, I'm only sharing this because it's hard to compare that to an NFL career. Believe me, it's almost impossible, right? But I'm sharing it to share to you that this happens at even lower levels, and it ain't fun when you're benching a guy that the team feels is good enough to throw us there for your son who can run us there, right? And run the clock out in the process. But you understand what you're doing, and you don't listen to the smoke on the sidelines. You don't. Like I said, I could smell the stench of them thinking nepotism coming off their brains. If you don't know what nepotism is, please look it up, because it's a very political term, and it involves king. Oh, stop it. You're not even part of that show, but you're invited.
I'm not, but I'm not wrong. I'm just saying.
All right. Anyway, so what I'll say is the timeline doesn't look good for the Broncos. It looks really shady. And here's what I can't wrap my head around as a former manager. Why I went on that giant dialogue about I'm qualified to at least speak on this, right? Like I'm not just talking as a host, right? I've managed teams. You must make tough decisions. And sometimes it's ones where you get the stank eye from the mama on the sidelines. It happens. But what I'm trying to say, or up in the stands, because we had stands. But anyway, but what I'm trying to say is this. Timeline looks ugly for the Broncos, because who the fuck benching your starting quarterback that's gone in the last 9 games 6-3, right when you are possible of winning your fucking division still? Like if the Chiefs lose both these games, the Broncos, all they got to do is win one, I think, because I think then they'll split the season with the Chiefs, and then they'll have the tiebreaker in their division record, because they'll have beat them, which would knock their division record down. So with that said, I'm telling you, please, you guys, I don't think either of you have ever managed anything other than yourselves and your businesses and your work, but not sports teams. Please tell me that what I'm missing as a sports manager, why you would bench your starting fucking quarterback that in the last 9 games has a fucking winning record of 6-3, 2 games before the playoffs when you're still in the hunt for the division. That's the question, by the way, that I asked Tammy this morning, and she threw her fucking hands up at me and said, I have no idea, and I don't even get all of football.
Sounds like the coach is butthurt.
Like I said earlier in the text, they did him dirty.
Say that again, Chris. I'm sorry, I heard you, but I don't think everybody else.
Sounds like the coach is butthurt about something.
Yeah, it's called he's made it clear since day one that Russ ain't his dude. That's the truth. And so he's never wanted Russ there. And so when you've never wanted the person there, you're literally stacking the deck against them.
Finding any reason.
And the worst part is I think that Chiefs game put the Broncos like right back near 500 or some shit. Or maybe or maybe right below 500 either way. Because so Nathaniel Hackett, who couldn't hack it, again, never going to get old, as Broncos head coach, right? As Broncos head coach, brought in Russell Wilson, Sean Payton. So here's the thing is, so back to why I pointed out the specific incident that got me stank eye from the mamas when I was coaching football, right? Here's why. Because you're a game manager. You're not just a coach. You're a game manager within the game too. So you have to manage the game within the game, right?
Yeah.
I have always had a disdain, or at least a kind of, and maybe this is because at the lower level you get what you get and you don't throw a fit when it comes to players. Like you can't really recruit. You got to get the kids that live in your town or your city or around your neighborhood. You can do sponsored recruiting stuff, but then all teams have to be invited. So in Pop Warner, you can actually pick who you play for if you're willing to drive, right? It's kind of like college. So you can do a little recruiting. Trust me, I got some good players because then I was like, you can go play for them because they've been around for a while. Or you can come play here where we're going to whoop their ass this year and win a championship. And that's what we did. That was when I was the OC, though. I was the offensive coordinator. But I was out there puffing big shit because all I said was, I don't care what you do. You won't outscore us. I don't give a fuck if our defense can stop you. You're not going to outscore us. And it was true to the tune of 8-2 record. But anyway, so here's why I bring this up. Game management. So you have Sean Payton, who comes in with a preconceived idea of what this team is going to be with what it has without really considering what it has. So he is an arrogant coach who expects the team to fit his system rather than he make the system fit the team. So you should be making changes in the game room and to your system that fit the quarterback you got and not the other way around. Sean Payton, you draft guys for your system you want to do. But when you come in and when you get what you get and you don't throw a fit, right? Like he kind of got this year. You have to adjust the system to fit the man, and the thing is, and the personnel you have. But that could not be even more true for specifically the position that I know the best because I started out as a quarterbacks coach and worked my way up to OC, right? Assistant OC, and then finally head coach, and all of that was predicated on knowing quarterbacks. That's the position that is the most tedious position, not in football, in all of the sports fucking world. It is the most specifically hands-on position you're ever going to deal with. It is so tedious. It goes up there with goalies in hockey and soccer tedious, right? It is profoundly the most important position on the field. And many have argued that it may be profoundly the most position in any sport, period, because of what is asked of one individual, right? So with that said, you got to make your system fit the man, dude. If that's the one position where you are having an issue, you have got to go into that playbook week after week and start designing plays or changing plays to work effectively for that quarterback and not expect that quarterback. So check this out. You don't play football, coach. You're on the sideline, right? The guy plays football. Why are you trying to make him something he's not? Why don't you use what he is? Because that man won a fucking Super Bowl with Pete Carroll by doing what he is.
Facts. I think he kind of showed that in those.
That's all I got, by the way, on Russell Wilson. And I know that was a lot, but do you guys understand why I needed to digress a lot? Because there's just things that just don't make sense to me in this whole situation, and it's aggravating as fuck. And then to watch somebody literally throw away a possibility at a division title and to beat the people that have been whooping your ass for the better part of a decade, knock them off their fucking little fucking king chief throne, knock the king off their throne in the kingdom, blah, 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 blah. And you fucking bench the guy for a guy that is all likely going to lose the next 2 games. Just FYI.
Oh, yeah,
even if he does okay, I think the Chargers' run game, because the Denvers can't stop anything, is going to look. I'm starting Austin Eckler. I'll run that risk. I'll flip that coin. I'd rather take that risk than see 25 points on the bench like Ford. Goddammit. Sorry. Anyway, let's move on. I got a question for you guys. It's the question of the day, not the trivia one, but the other question of the day. It is Lamar Jackson for MVP. I just want to go around the room and get your thoughts on it. Here's my thought. I think he shut shit down on the other 2 possible MVPs real fucking quick. How quick? Real quick. Not to mention that the 2 guys on the other team, only one of them is the most valuable player on their team, and that's Christian McCaffrey. But either way, Lamar Jackson, if it was up in the air for some of those voters out there that maybe aren't jocking McCaffrey's dick, or Purdy's dick, I can tell you right now that they literally looked at Lamar and said, "That's that dude."
Yeah.
Yeah, he was full steam ahead at the beginning of the season. There was no stopping him.
Honestly, with a defense like that,
he was chosen to sit behind in the pocket, throw the ball, which.
Yep. Well, think about this too. They barely lost the games they lost. Like, nobody has gotten in the ass of the Ravens. Not for real got in that ass. People have gotten over on them. That's why they have losses. That is it, if you ask me personally. They are on a fucking tear, and they are tearing shit up at the right time. And let's just call it what it is. He is not just the most valuable player on that team. Starting off easily the most valuable player in his division already, no question about it, right? So that's a big leap when you look at some of these other divisions. Like, people are like, well, what about Josh Allen? I'm like, dude, Tua's in the talk. Shut up.
But he's so Seriously. Much more laser focused on his situation.
He's in the zone, man, and he's in that MVP caliber like he was as a rookie. But this time, he's got like 5-6 years under his belt, and he knows what the fuck he's doing. You see what I'm saying?
He knows when to throw, when to run.
And he got a contract where he don't got to play scared and worry about getting hurt no more. If I get hurt, I still get paid. I'm good.
You see, back to the Denver thing, that's what they wanted Russell to cut, was that guarantee hurt money. And I'm like,
I'm almost retirement age. Fuck you.
Right? Granted,
Russ did exactly
retirement age in football. Retirement age for football.
Russ did exactly what I would do.
Your name is Joe Flacball.
You play me out like a bitch and a sucker, and I'm going to expose the fuck out of your ass. You better not ever talk bad about me. You know what? The best thing you could ever do is never mention my name, because if you talk bad about me, I will expose the fuck out of you for who you really are when I don't even want no piece of you. And that's exactly what Russ did, and I fucking love it. I fucking love it. Like, we both could have just walked away quietly at the end of the season, but no, you wanted to act like a little bitch and bench me because I wouldn't cut my pay when you could have cut me before June. You could have cut me before June 2nd. You could have cut me before June 2nd, but after March 5th, but before June 2nd or June 1st or whatever, before the season officially, I think the season officially starts on June 2nd or whatever. That's when you have to cut guys by. Usually it's or June 1st or whatever, right? It's at the start of summer.
It's by between the first 5 days of the start of this season.
It's something like that.
Yeah.
So it has to be done by like June 1st or something like that. Otherwise, you have to pay the man his guaranteed money or this money or that money or whatever. Russ Wilson has these guys by the balls because the only thing they can do is trade him. Otherwise, he's got them by the balls. And here's why. They extended his contract, so now they got to pay him like $80 million in guaranteed money, right?
$85 million.
Yep. So with that said, Russell Wilson has them by the balls because he can go take a like $5 million contract with a good team or a bad team. It's indifferent to him. He can sit on the bench, and they're going to pay him veteran money, which that money will be compensated to Denver for paying him, right? But only what he makes can be compensated. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, so basically, he makes $5 million another team. He's still gonna get the other fucking $35 million.
Yeah, exactly.
That year, as an example.
It's beautiful.
Go ahead, Chris. I'm sorry.
That's on him. Cha-ching. Chris just said cha-ching.
Oh, yeah, the money one. Check that. Write that check, ho. All right, let's do this.
Show me the money. Exactly.
Let's do this. Here's my power 5. What's up? Technically, it's a power 4 because you're going to put the 5th team in.
Doing a power 5.
Just to do it.
So we're just picking. Okay.
I've got the Ravens, then the 49ers, then the Dolphins, then Philly. Who did you want to put in my 5th slot there? I'm giving you that.
Me?
I know why you asked.
I would think the 11-4 Detroit Lions should belong there at this moment.
I actually agree with you guys. Just so you know, I do. That's who I thought I would put too. I just want to see if somebody had something different to contribute this week. That's all.
No, I'm proud of the Lions.
Honest answer.
You can't say nobody else because like anybody else is like, well, they lost to this team, or they lost to that team, or they lost to this team. So I'm like, whoa, the fucking Lions won. Lions clinched at least a berth to the playoffs. I think after this week, after they play the Cowboys, they can clinch the division, but so can the Eagles after the Eagles win
The Eagles have to win and the Lions have to beat Dallas. That's what that one boils down to.
Yeah, but we're not going to
It's
say
going to be a strong final 2 weeks with fantasy Super Bowls happening this week, and then next week being like the week to decide all things that happen postseason. It's going to be an exciting 2 weeks, hands down, of football. It's going to be great. This is why I always love this time of years when soccer starts to go on their winter breaks for transfer season. I love it because I'm like, okay, now I can just focus on football. There's no baseball. There's a little bit of basketball and hockey, but I can focus on football. All right, so let's pick games this week. So do you have a decision on what games you want this week? Do you have an idea? A couple of teams that I know.
Definitely the game tonight. Definitely the game tonight.
It's the game tonight. Again, refresh my memory. I'm sorry.
It's Lions, Dallas.
Oh yeah, I don't have anybody playing in tonight. That's why if I had fantasy people playing in this game, I would know exactly who's playing tonight. But I don't have anybody. That explains why. Okay, Lions, Dallas. Yes, I like that one. Let's pick it. Let me get some space.
All right, I'm definitely going. See, that's the thing though. They're in Dallas.
Too.
Dallas plays good at home, and Detroit.
Bro, Detroit plays indoors too. Stop it.
I know. So I'm like, but you never know which team. Like, because if Micah Parsons goes off, then fucking Jared Goff ain't doing shit today. Or yeah, today. I'm still gonna go. God damn it! Who do you got, Chris?
I got the Lions.
Of course you do. Who do you got, Trey? All right,
I've
Chris.
got a runner on the Lions, and my quarterback is a Dallas. Right.
No, I get that.
Who did you pick?
Because, you know, I didn't pick yet because I was seeing who Chris got, and I was going to ask you who you got. Because, I mean, Dallas is good at home. Detroit's good on the road, but they both play in fucking turf.
You're picking first because you're in the lead on the board, dummy. You have to pick before we pick. But we all know Chris is taking the Lions, though.
Yeah, I know.
I picked the Cowboys.
Oh, you're taking the Cowboys? Oh, well,
no, I picked them before.
Oh, okay. So
I just
do
Lions.
My paper. It's all scribbled out now. I wrote Lions, scribble, Cowboys, scribble, Lions, scribble, Cowboys, scribble. I put back Lions. It's all good now.
Thank you.
Yeah, Lions. I'll go with Lions. And Trey's gonna go Cowboys at home.
Honestly, I want to go with the Lions, but so there's this thing called time, and I'm running out of it, and I'm behind 2 games, so I've got to pick my moves, really good here.
Okay.
The Cowboys have been ferocious, scoring between 35 and averaging like literally 41 or 40 points at home, though, and that's hard to
if Dak can throw the ball.
True, the Lions' defensive line is nice. Shoot. I'm going to go with the Cowboys because I got to try to pick up a point this week. This is where I will try to make my move.
Okay. All right. So, how about next game? Definitely what we have to talk about.
Miami, Baltimore, Saturday morning, dude. Yeah. I'm going to be literally probably watching that one live. The Cardinals Philly game is just offensive to me. So, I'll probably watch. Let's go to Baltimore, Miami. I'm going to tell you that I hope this is a high scoring game because I got players on both. I don't know. I don't know if I'm starting that kicker or Dicker, the kicker from the Chargers against Denver up in Denver because that might be a good start as well. The ball carries better up there. A, B, Denver sucks. So they're making it easy on us.
The Chargers.
Fair. I'm actually counting on the run game to get them in scoring position, and then whether that scores or not, maybe
That's
starting
the game we're talking about.
Shut up. So anyway, I'm going to go with Baltimore on this game, though. I think, here's the deal: defense wins championships. Baltimore can score points and stop you. Miami can score points and kind of stop you. I'm going to go with the guy that can stop you, Baltimore.
I agree. That Baltimore is going to win this game.
Chris?
Yeah, I have to go with Baltimore as well.
Okay.
I don't think the Dolphins can hold them back.
Okay, let's go to the next game. And let me see here.
How about Tampa, Tampa, New Orleans, because there's not really much else.
So Indy Las Vegas could put Vegas in a outside chance at a playoff spot, or Indy firmly in a wild card spot in the AFC. So that is a game that has some, shall we say, clout to it, and it's hard to tell who's going to win. So I want to throw that one in. I want to throw Vegas Indy in for a close game. Hard to pick who's going to win. Vegas is on a tear.
Wild card, don't they?
No, Vegas is on a tear, but if Indy wins, I think they should clinch a wild card, I think. I know if Buffalo wins, they'll clinch a wild card.
I don't want to interrupt where I'm at now. But actually, here, let's do that.
Chris,
I think
Indy, Vegas. Who do you like? Chris is first, actually. Then you.
I want to go to it.
Who?
I think. Hello, Chris. Who you got? Indy?
Colts. Yep.
Colts? Yep.
Is that who you like too?
Me? The way that Antonio Pierce has got those boys playing, it's kind of hard to bet against. I can't believe I'm going to say this. Bet against the Vegas.
Okay.
I can't see the name. I can say where they're from though. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Vegas. Minshew Magic and everything is cracked up to be my guy.
Thank you. You know, honestly, this is kind of a question of will the Raiders play upset to the Colts in a sense of the playoff picture, and that's kind of that's why I said wait a minute, hold on, we got to pause for the cause. Ding, that was for you, buddy.
Hey.
But so the thing is, the Raiders have an outside chance looking in at 7-8, and the reason why is because the Steelers, Bengals, and Texans are all 8-7 and are ahead of them. The Colts are actually in the seventh spot if it ended today. So I'm going to go with the Colts, but I am going with them purely on the fact that they are going I don't think the Raiders are playing for their lives. They have literally a 1% chance of getting into the playoffs. You know what I mean?
I think it's more of a trying to get Antonio Pierce as their head coach.
I should say this. Hold on. Let me rephrase that. They have a less than 1% chance of getting into the playoffs if they lose this game this week to the Colts. Whereas the Colts still can get in even if they lose this game. They still have close to a 30% chance they could get in if they lose this game. And if they win this game, they are basically almost there. They're almost in 71% chance to win or get in the playoffs if they win this game. I like the Colts. I think they're just going to come out different, and they're getting both of their running backs healthy. And if you can control the clock, you can control the other team's offense and how long they're on the field. Simple and plain.
Which is what the defense of the Raiders have been doing.
Fair enough. I'll give you that. It's going to be a close game. This is one right here where I might be going where I might need to hit pay dirt on the Cowboys if I fuck up here anyway. All right, so let's go to the next game. Who do you want next then?
Well, the only other game, let's see, between that one.
I think
it was
Tampa,
definitely the Tampa game.
2 slots left. So hold on, slow down. We have 2 slots left.
Look at that.
Okay. We got Pittsburgh and Seattle both at 8-7, both fighting for playoff spots. I like that one as well as the Tampa game. I don't. And then also you have the 9-6 and 8-7 Bengals, 9-6, 8-7, or 9-6 Kansas City, 8-7 Bengals playing. Kansas City's fighting to hold on to their own division despite Denver's stupidity.
Well, somebody's gonna catch the ball in that game. I've honestly lost faith.
Let me blow your mind.
And the Chiefs.
Let me blow your guys' mind. I don't think it's going to happen. Okay, first off, let me say that I don't think this is going to happen, but still, let me blow your minds with one little tidbit here, a little juicy tidbit nugget I have. If Kansas City were to lose both games, and Las Vegas, sorry, Raiders guys, I'm a West Coast dude. It's old habits die hard. Las Vegas were to win out. Las Vegas has a tiebreaker over Kansas City because of their division record and beating the Broncos and so on and so forth, and the Chargers and so on and Kansas City. Do you see what I'm saying? Bro, please tell me you thought the AFC West would come down to week 18 because you're full of shit. But the Chiefs can clinch with a win this week. Oof. Man, there's all three of these games that are left are very enticing. Yours is to win the division, though, isn't it?
And
No, yours is going to go down to the last week. I think yours is going to go down to the last week. Chris, any insight onto which two of these three games we want to go with?
I don't know. The 8 and 7 teams sound pretty good to me.
Pittsburgh and Seattle.
Yeah,
that is a good one. I agree. Now it comes down to the league or the division that someone has to win, or can the defending champs secure their division? You know it's true. That's why you're upset about it.
I mean, it is. It's not like it's not true because next week.
The AFC West is kind of looking like someone has to win with the Broncos and the Raiders still technically in contention.
I don't care.
Come on, let's do this. We're going to definitely take the Pittsburgh-Seattle game, so let's pick that. You guys marinate on those other two for a second. Let's go Pittsburgh-Seattle. Pittsburgh-Seattle. Ooh, that is tough, actually. I don't know. Seattle. Who's on third?
Who's on second?
Ooh, that's tough. Pittsburgh on the road or tearing it up. Oh, you know what, too, though? They're trying to get that 9th win to give Tomlin keeps Tomlin's win streak alive, too. He needs 9. He needs to finish 9-8 to have a winning season. Simple and plain. So he needs one more win in 2 weeks, guys, and it's Seattle this week or damn.
Or we'll play next week.
Do you think Mason Rudolph could do the deed on the road again with the 12th man?
Not in Seattle.
Even when Seattle sucks, their crowd is freaking ferocious, right?
That crowd does play a difference in their games.
By the way, even the Broncos are still competing. I think they'll get knocked out this week against LA, who's just tearing shit up. They're just not. LA's just not going to make the playoffs. It is what it is. They still can, but I just don't think they will.
Which LA team?
With a 7-9 record. You're just not going to make it with a 7-9 record. That's them winning out. You know what I mean? But anyway, I'll pick first. I'm gonna go with. Is Geno starting?
Let's find out.
I think he's back.
Well, because what if Drew Luck is starting? I mean, because you saw how he came back. Hold on, it's still loading up here.
MVP playing is way better. Did you hear what I said?
Playing better? I didn't know you kind of broke up.
He would be playing this week. Pittsburgh's is just better, a little better. The offense. I'm going Pittsburgh, man. I don't trust Seattle. I'm going Pittsburgh. If Pittsburgh plays anything close to the game they had last week, it's on and cracking.
That's if the rush is going. If Najee Harris can get going.
I hope he gets shut down because that's Santos' running back. Come on, go pick.
The last time these two teams played, which was August 13th, 2022, that was a different quarterback. 32-25 Pittsburgh. In Pittsburgh, right? But we're in Seattle, so I'm going Seattle because I need my people to do some shit.
Who you going with, Big
It doesn't
Dog?
say if Geno's starting.
I'm going with the Pittsburgh Iron.
Stats.
They're going to bring that hammer down.
Interesting. So, Chris, I love you. I know you can't compete for the belt, but I love you doing picks, though, for it. The belt is an in-studio award because you have to be in here wearing it, showing it off.
Hey, that's okay.
Or you bury it under
a pillow.
I'm definitely coming out not wearing that.
You're so stupid. Or I bury it under a pillow when Podcast P's not here, so I don't have to look at it because it's not mine.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, let's go to the next game.
It's okay.
So Kansas City against Cincinnati or New Orleans against Tampa. I do think the New Orleans-Tampa game will be closer by far. Even if Winston,
I definitely think it'll be more entertaining.
Even if
That's
Winston
not what
was,
we're going for.
well, it's Carr that I think is starting in this one still. He hasn't gotten.
Carr, yeah. But it's Carr versus Baker.
Sorry, hold on, Chris. Who did you say? Seattle or Pittsburgh? I'm sorry.
Steele.
Okay.
You're going Pitt.
Okay, go ahead.
In Seattle. Okay.
Last game here. We're going Tampa, New Orleans in Tampa, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah. I don't like New Orleans. I like New Orleans in New Orleans, generally speaking. That's why they have a 500 record or close to a 500 record. I like New Orleans in New Orleans. I do not like New Orleans in Tampa, though. I don't. Because rain, sun, or shine there, it's Tampa, and Tampa plays better at home. It's just most of the time it's easier to play at home. Every once in a while you see something like the Cardinals. Remember they couldn't win games. They won like 3 games at home, but were like 8-1 on the road or some dumb shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was crazy. And I was just like, well, we're in the playoffs, but can we go on the road? And then we did lose at home in the first round. Like, God damn it.
Tampa's done pretty good this year,
It makes total sense.
So, say that again?
I said Tampa's done pretty good this year, though.
I'm going to go with the Bucks on this one. I want to go with New Orleans and maybe give me a little wiggle room if something goes bad earlier in these picks that I did. But I'm going to go with Tampa. I'm just fucking with you. Baker's been playing his mind out, man. I'm dead serious.
Dude, I've been saying, like, once I found out he only had a year contract, plus with the extra $1 million if he won that last game as an incentive, Baker actually might get re-signed to another year if he keeps playing like this at fucking Tampa. I mean, is this kind of like a resurgence for Baker Mayfield? You know, after all being in Cleveland for so long, you know, kind of got to his head. And now he's like, well, shit, I really kind of have to actually like really play and focus and be the man that I say I am. He's kind of
no, not at all. Do not care. No. You know why he's playing good? Are you ready?
Money.
Oh, he's in a fucking goddamn free agency year. His contract's up at the end of the year. He's playing his fucking mind out because he wants another deal, dude.
Pay me.
Yeah, I'm saying, don't you think Tampa could sign him again at the end of this year?
Oof. I mean, they might have to if he makes the playoffs, and at least for another 1-year deal.
Saying.
Maybe even just maybe a small but good 2-year deal with good with incentives. So if you don't play good, we don't got to pay you as much. But I think a good 2-year with incentive boosters. So hey, we're gonna give you, let's say what's the average for a quarterback right now? We're gonna say we're gonna give you $25 million instead of $35 million, right? A year. Like guys are getting
sure.
We're going to give you like 25, or we're going to give you 20 million a year or 15 million a year for the next 2 years. So $30 million contract, right? But we're going to throw in another, 30 million in incentives. Some of them we know you're not going to hit. Fuck off. We know you're not going to hit 10 million of those incentives, but you'll probably get close to hitting 10 to 20 million of those incentives if you get us to the playoffs. Maybe you hit that 30 million round of incentives if you can get us to an NFC Championship Super Bowl game, right? Then we give you a little bit better kind of incentive, but everything's incentive based. How many touchdowns are you throwing versus interception ratio? I'm putting incentive there for that. I want to make sure that you're playing good, clean football and you're not making poor decisions trying to get there, right? But yeah, I think Baker deserves an incentive based contract for 2 years.
He's been doing all of that, though.
Hold on, can I say this? I think Baker deserves an incentive-based contract for 2 years, around $15 to $20 million a year, and I believe that from any team out there that is struggling to find a quarterback. I don't even care if it's Tampa.
Right.
He has proven that he deserves $15 to $20 million a year with some incentive kickers to get him up to that $50 million rank that most quarterbacks want to be around, right? You want $50 million? Go fucking earn it, brother. Otherwise, here's your $15 million for the year. Because if you, just like at my job, bro, the truth is I don't make as much as money as I make. But there's bonus incentives on my day job, right? And there's a lot of money that surrounds how well I perform. And sometimes how quickly or how good or a combination of both, right? And it's very incentive based. I like the ones that are more about how I perform and less about how quickly, because I don't like doing shit work to get it done. I don't. I like it to be how well I do shit. And then if I'm not as quick as this,
Quality, not quantity.
yeah, but my quality, but it goes back to my quarterbacking days. It goes back to pitching days. It goes back to being a point guard days of whether to take the shot or pass the ball as a pitcher, whether, are you throwing more strikes than balls as a quarterback? Are you throwing, quarterbacking is a little different. So it's like, are you picking the right receiver? Because sometimes you can just outthrow a defender and still pick the wrong read. You can still outthrow a defender or outthrow like sometimes if they shadow a guy and you can fit it in there, you can outthrow the right coverage for a play. But most guys outside of the NFL and some college guys, most guys have to throw to the right read.
Well, yeah, just like cannabis growing, if you don't produce a certain quality, you don't get those incentives. You got to live life like that too. I mean, if you're not putting out quality, then why would anybody want to deal with you?
This is why Russ and Sean don't get along, because Russ does better off script. I know what that's like because I'm like that too, where you get outside the pocket and run some, you kind of create as you go. Look, there's a reason why I've always been an advocate for Russell Wilson, is because he has never been the strongest. Well, no, I was going to say he's just never been the strongest system guy, you dick. But anyway, thanks.
But the other two are not. The other two are dead on too. And I'm not making insults.
Kyler Murray. It's the same reason why I like Kyler Murray. It's the same reason why, it's the same reason why I didn't necessarily wasn't. Well, check it out. It wasn't Kyler's a right-handed anyway. For me,
you short fuck.
For me though, like Drew Brees,
sorry.
Drew Brees was never really my guy because he was a pocket system guy. He was great pocket system guy. Peyton was my guy because you can't be that good and me not like you, okay? And of course, everybody knows Tom wasn't even about being great. It was about him being smarter than everyone else and it being a Michigan guy and me liking him since he was literally a freshman. Excuse me. He didn't catch my eye until he was a sophomore at Michigan, because you don't really see a lot of the freshmen, and we didn't get that. We didn't get the blue and gold game out here. You know what I mean? In the spring game when they play each other, we didn't get that game out here. I didn't have the Big Ten Network. Sorry, poor people problems, right? As a kid, but anyway,
at the end of the day, there wasn't a Big Ten Network.
I was gonna say I don't even know if it existed when Tom was in college. Maybe it did up there, but I know it did down here. I don't think it was
maybe like in the college level, but not.
Maybe it was like a satellite channel you could get when satellite ruled the skies, right? But anyway,
it was on a Big Ten channel back in the day.
This has been absolutely the longest show we've had in a while, but it's also been one of the most fun shows we've had in a while. So I just want to thank you boys for that. I will tell you that we're going to be lightening up on covering the games that happened from the week before as we start having to dive into the real big playoff picture next week. Because the dust will begin to settle and start to settle off games from that week. So, guys, I just want to let you know the format of the show is going to be changing up a little bit, and it might even get a little shorter because of that. But for those of you that have been a fan of the show for a long time, you know that since Podcast P and I started this show back in 2020, everybody who's been part of the show and or has been a fan of the show knows that when the playoffs, that last week of the NFL, when the playoffs start, we don't really break down the games from the week before, because honestly, let's be real, they're going to inadvertently be talked about because it's going to be why matchups matter the next week anyway. And then after that, we're going to be getting into breaking down each game of the playoffs and really getting into in-depth why we think who's going to win what. And also, we're going to be breaking down, we're going to score the preseason board, and we're going to be doing the postseason pick'em board. By the way, the preseason board, just so y'all know, is worth 30 total points. It is, 40 total points. It's the pick'em board is worth the pick'ems. The weekly picks are worth 40 fucking total points for the season, right? The playoff pick'em is worth 25 points. And then there's another like 45, 50 points on the other side of the board. So if let's say you win pick'em and I win the preseason part of the board, I doubt that'll happen. You did too good. I'm not gonna lie to you. You probably whooped my ass this season. I'm going to tell you why. No. You've got some things. You said won't make the playoffs was the Cowboys and the Seahawks, and they still got a chance. The Vikings got an outside chance looking in, but they have to beat the Packers this week. And
But so here's where I fucked up. I said the Bucks won't. They're probably going to make it. I said the Dolphins won't. They're probably going to make it. I said the Jags won't. They still might make it. The only one I got right, and there's the Giants. So you got me there. We all blew the coop. We both blew the coop on the quarterback rookie of the year because I do believe it's going to be C.J. Stroud. Super Bowl or bust. We won't know that yet. MVP list. None of us had Lamar, so we're all fucked. If I'm being honest. And who didn't make the playoffs that will? Tennessee won't, Saints won't, Detroit will, and Jets won't. So I got one right. And you did let's see, you did Jets won't, Detroit will, Pittsburgh still has a shot, and Carolina won't. So we both might get a couple points there. So basically if you win the pick'ems and you win the preseason stuff, there's no way anyone can beat you. If you win the pick'ems and someone else wins the other side of the board, it's going to come down to playoff pick'ems. You know what I'm saying? And each week, winning those picks, and it's not like point by each week, winning those picks are going to be so huge because there's only X many games. There's only 7 games the first round, and then there's only 4 games the second round, then 2 games the next round, and then 1 game to win it all. And all that's worth 25 points. And the boldest predictions of the year, if you hit any of those, everybody's screwed. That's 30 points for hitting the boldest of the year. Mine was the Panthers make the wild card, so I'm fucked. They were the first team eliminated. Talk about missing the boat, boys. Talk about missing the boat. Anyway, I just want to tell you that this was the final regular season show. This is the final regular season show for us because next week we start breaking down how each of those games that matter affect the playoff seeding going into week 1 of the playoffs. And then, of course, obviously we're breaking down playoffs and so on forward. So I'm just really excited that this did go a little longer. We got to talk about some big stuff coming up. Don't forget, January 1st, coming up here at noon on January 1st. Be there or be square, folks, because it's a big deal. There's a huge announcement coming, and I mean, it's literally one of the biggest. I mean, this literally might be big as before Blunt football was announced. This is big.
Not a dick joke, people.
Yeah, this is not a big old dick joke or a dig old bick or whatever. This ain't a dick joke at all. This is very serious. I put my heart and soul into everything I do. I think that sometimes people do really forget that, and I'm dead serious. And I'm like, no. So I just move in. I've been working on myself, read a lot of self-help books, and lately I've just been moving in silence. Yeah, I just been moving in silence. I just ain't been telling everybody what I'm doing and when I'm doing it and why I'm doing it because I think that leaves it open for if it doesn't work out or something has to change, you don't look like an idiot later. I had to learn that the hard way like 10 years ago, maybe 15 years ago. I was about to sign a tig old deal on music, and then it fell through and it didn't happen. And then writing that, post or whatever, basically retracting what you said or going back in and deleting that post because you don't want it to ever be seen again because it didn't happen. Like my stomach's getting upset right now because it makes my stomach turn to have to go do that because I want to get it right the first time, if that makes sense. But anyway, really love you boys. Thanks for hey, Chris, thanks for stopping by, bro. Really appreciate it. Podcast P and I love doing this show. We definitely don't mind a guest here and there. And if you want to be a guest on the show, just call. Or not call, I'm sorry, just email us, info@wake_bake_America show, info@wake_bake_America show. Email us and we'll give you a link to come be a guest on the show and we'll talk about your football team and we'll make sure we have a segment built around what your football team's doing. And by the way, we do have, I had a guest that I did a UFO show on. I'm telling you guys, when I mentioned the Vatican, shit flew off the wall. It got weird. It got fucking weird, bud. But anyway, he's a huge Dolphins fan, if I remember right. And so wouldn't mind getting him on the show. Podcast P, the studio has been redesigned. I've redesigned the lighting system to be more effective for, when we do want to do Instagram videos. And we're gonna start doing coming this off. Listen, I'm just not in a hurry to do stuff because this is the time of year. So for those of you that don't know, I don't actually celebrate the new year this weekend. I just get drunk with my friends on an extra day off that's paid. I actually celebrate the new year during the spring solstice and technically on April Fool's Day. And so and it's not a joke. This isn't a joke. Podcast P will tell you. He knows that I really do celebrate the new year when spring has arrived and new life is beginning. I do not care to celebrate the Christian worldview of the new year where the world begins when everything dies. Like, how fucking negative is that? So I personally, and this is me, I personally celebrate my personal real new year. This is when I make my like commitment to work out. Now I start my workouts January 1st because I like to get that 90-day head start. Anything that hurts or injured, I start to learn how to work around those injuries or pain. And but then that April 1st hits, or not April 1st, but March 1st hits, and it's like, all right, we have T-minus 3 weeks until the solstice in the new year. So coming this new year for me, which is in March 1st, which is usually around the time we come back and start talking about what happened like in free agency, right? Podcast P. So starting that March 1st time frame, guys, we're gonna have the Wake and Bake shows Blunt Football Talk. It's gonna have its own TikTok, which will filter into Blunt Football Talk. It'll filter into Instagram, but we are going to be moving away from Instagram. We really don't like the negativity that's kind of Instagram's turning into, and also the algorithm has never been friendly to me. Chris will tell you, because I go hard in politics. The algorithm has never been kind to me, not into anything new I've started, because I've been heavy into politics. It just kind of like half my friends don't ever see me on the internet, and it's crazy to me because I'm their most engaging target, and yet they don't see me. And so it's because of the algorithm. So we're just going to be switching to platforms where maybe we can't smoke on camera, but Instagram kind of got bougie and algorithmed us out too because of that. So fine, we just won't smoke where you can see us. We'll smoke. We'll just, we'll turn away from the camera and rip the bong. I'll lean out the camera zone and rip the bong. I just want to tell you guys that I have spent since about a week or two before Halloween, actually, is when I started working on this project to launch this project that's coming up on January 1st that we're announcing. And I just want to tell you two boys that, and the rest of the audience out there in the world, that, guys, this is my heart and soul. Everything I do and believe in has went into this since 2 weeks before Halloween. And while everybody thinks I've been just probably sitting at home, probably playing video games or fucking off, I've been out actually seeking sponsorship for the station and this show because I believe that this show deserves its own personal sponsor. This is going to be that huge, right? So it's a big deal, guys. And while I haven't secured that sponsor, I've had several people reach out so far, and I'll be following up with them after the first of the year. It just comes down to budget constraints. They can't really answer you until after the first of the year, so you just kind of got to follow up after the first of the year. But I even sent one. I've sent one full on proposal out to somebody, so that's one that's like ready to bite. It just depends on if the numbers are right. I'm still concerned that they may want an FM thing, and they should know for those prices and that good of a deal, that's not going to be FM, but we still deliver 100 to 200, on average, 100 to 200 audience listeners a day. And what that means is that it never drops below 100. It usually floats around 200. And I don't see it break 300 a day too often, to be quite honest with you guys. I just don't. And it drops into the teens or tens on like holidays like Christmas. Fun fact. Don't know if y'all know that.
Hey, are we allowed to bring in sponsors?
Yes. If you and I need to talk offline about how that
Sound
works.
like Donkey Kong, then.
You and I need to have a conversation anyway. So why don't you call me when you're free at any point later today? I should wait. Hold on. No, I have to do car work. Call me like call me around like 9 your time because whatever I'm doing, I won't be fucking with the car that late, no matter what.
Okay.
I'll be watching football at that time. So just call me around 6 or 7 because once the game's on, I will be done with working on the car by then, regardless.
Right on.
I'm just not fucking with it once the game's on. But I got it. Basically, guys, if you don't know how cars work, I have to take off the ignition coils and ohm test, resistance test them, and figure out which one's being a little bitch.
Oh, you got one of those problems, huh?
Yeah, I replaced one already, but that whole cavity looked bad, and it looked like it blew the spark plug, like literally blew it. So when I looked in there at first, Chris, I'll just be honest with you guys. And this is something for air, but if you're still here listening, I looked in there and I said, "Oh fuck, I hope that comes out when I fucking put that wrench on it." And it did. It came out smooth, but at first I was like, "Fuck, that doesn't look like that's gonna come out. It looks like it's melted in there."
I've been there.
And it blew that motherfucker out. It's got that Corona color to it. Yeah, it burnt that motherfucker out. But as most people know, that's no harm, no foul. Just change the spark plug, get a new coil for that specific one. I think, but I didn't figure out that the spark plug was the coil spark plug situation was a problem. So I want to take it off and sand off any like darkening of the metal.
Yeah.
On the end of the spark plug on both ends, actually on both ends, I want to sand it off, and then I'm going to put them in back that one back in. The other ones, when I took off the thing, they all looked like shiny and good, like they should, So I go ahead.
Make sure you put dielectric grease inside your boot.
Yeah, no, there was already grease in those. I had already those came off and went back on. But the brand new one, oh yeah, fuck yeah, I definitely put the grease on the brand new one, bro. Oh yeah. And I even put a little grease around the top one just so it slides in and out easy for me because I don't want it to be a little cunt later.
Yeah, they definitely can. Sometimes they even pull apart.
Yeah, and that's one that is one trick that I do actually know. Like throw a little grease on the upper ring on that and boom. But anyway, I love you, mother lovers. We got to get out of here. Nobody wants to hear us talk about fixing cars. But Chris, definitely call me after 6 or 7 and I'll tell you the exact project details. I put everything into a flat line so you can type it up how you want, how your friends will understand you.
Yep.
And then I'll tell you what I need out of that you get, because you get a lot of that. More than any place on the planet gives you when you do stuff like that.
Yeah, and I'm not totally concerned about that, but we'll chat about that later.
No. Preston, he's gonna make me yell at him, isn't he?
He's not here.
Oh, well, anyway, you're gonna make me yell at you.
He douched out on us.
Well, we've exceeded the time limit, so we got to go. Love you, bye.